anyway, this is part 2 of me questioning my sexuality. Like I was saying, I realized, realizing I had attraction to girls and I liked my friend. But when she asked me out, I was just taken by surprise. I was like, what? What? No, no, no. Besides, I can't. I can't. It goes against everything that I was taught, I was grown up in. It goes against everything I was taught growing up. I was like, I can't. Plus, there was some part of me, I was like, this is just weird. Like, why do I feel like this towards her? Like, why am I, this didn't make sense. Something always felt like it was missing, and I didn't know exactly what it was, and she was kind of there to show me a little bit, but she was always there for me, and I love her pieces. She did put me out of my comfort zone, though, which I think was good, but it made me think, which is what it did. It made me think, it made me analyze, and, kind of just figure out who I am, where I'm standing with this. But anyway, I was like, okay. At first I was like, I don't know. Should I? I was like, well, no. And then, well, maybe I'll think about it. That's what I said, I'll think about it. And, because I wasn't really sure. I was 10th grade. How old was that? Like 16? Maybe? 10th grade, 16, right? That's what I'm thinking. 16. Yeah. I was 16. I was like, I don't know. Is this a phase? Do I just have, like, am I just admiring her as a person? I don't know. I don't know. Like, all I know is she's just, like, all I know is, like, tiny crush went to massive crush. I was like, this isn't exactly normal. I was like, okay. Because I was always taught, like, boys date girls, date boys, boys date girls. That's what I was taught, or whatever. So when that kind of, like, branched, like, away from that, I was like, oh my god, okay. But anyway, I eventually agreed to go out with her or whatever. I'm saying agreed because I still wasn't really sure about it. I just, like, I knew I was like, alright, I was like, you can at least try it out or whatever. But, in my head that made sense at the time. Anyway, I was like, alright, I was living with my dad and stepmother at the time. I was like, I gotta try to come up with the guts to tell my stepmom. And, I was like, oh shit. Because my stepmom, she's really cool. She's really cool. Like, she can be really, really, really cool, super cool, understanding. Not like your typical stepmother. Like, we would talk about stuff that I can't even talk to my mother about, or I can't even talk to any of my family members about. Like, that's how close we were. But she was really religious and really strict and stuff, so, and she would have her times where she'd be cool, and then other times she would just flip shit. So I didn't know exactly what to expect from her, and I was really nervous, and my hands were shaking, sweating and shaking, my head was spinning. I couldn't form full sentences, which really didn't help the process any more than what it already was. But I sat down in the kitchen with her, and I was like, listen, I was like, I have to tell you this. I was like, I've I've been questioning my sexuality for a long time. And I'm bisexual. I like girls and guys. And my friend, and I'm going out with my friend or whatever. I don't exactly know the exact words I put it or whatever, but her face went, it's like that awkward long silence, like, her face was just like, I couldn't read her facial expression. I was like, oh shit. And it seemed like forever sitting like that. And finally, I go to try to turn to say something, and she faces me and says, wow, I wasn't expecting that. But I love you, and I want you to be happy. Uh, and if you're serious about this, I'll help you tell your mother. I'm like, what? Wait, no. I was like, my mother's not flip shit. She flipped shit when I said I was questioning. The fact that I'm bisexual and I'm dating my friend, really, no. I started freaking out. My mind went in panic mode. I knew I wasn't mentally ready to come out, so I told a fib to my friend that I realized I only liked her as a friend if we could go back there, and I told my stepmother that I was just a phase or whatever, and it was just an idea or whatever. I had more attraction for guys anyway, so it really didn't matter. So she dropped it, and since then, I moved back in with my mom and my two nieces that summer, and I sadly lost contact with my friend, and I tried to put the fact that I had attraction for girls in the back of my mind. I thought that maybe, this is how maybe if I developed a crush on a boy, I'd forget about my thing with girls. That didn't exactly work. Because I struggled with it for the longest time. Then after my accident at this ice cream place I was working at, straight after my accident, I dislocated my thumb out of its socket, and the doctor was like, yeah, you're done. So I had to quit, and that was the most painful summer of my entire life. The most excruciating pain, besides getting my appendix taken out after it bursted, that extreme pain, it brought tears to my eyes. But I had to find a new job, and that's when I applied to Taco Bell, which I told myself I wasn't going to do because I wasn't going to work in a fast food place. But yeah, I ended up doing that. I got hired or whatever, and it wasn't until afterwards that I found out that my boss, which I love her to pieces, we're like this. Ooh, you can't see that. We're like this. Yeah. I found out that she was gay, and she had a girlfriend that she'd been with forever or whatever, and I kind of like, how people have gaydar or whatever. I kind of sensed it. I was like, but I've always been taught not to assume, because the most, like, tomboyish girl could be, like, the straightest girl ever. She could, like, yeah, just like you wouldn't expect, like, a real girly person or a real feminine person like me to be gay, but, yeah. But this kind of ends my questioning type thing. Not really, but I'm gonna make my coming out video, actually really dang soon. I'm gonna stay tuned, I'm going to come out with my coming out video, and I'm gonna have, probably 1 or 2 parts, maybe 3 if I had to. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. This was just like what kind of made me question my sexuality, and kind of like method to my madness behind that. But yeah, stay tuned and go check out my coming out story. Alright, bye.